Well, here we have an article here from China, Shanghai, that Shanghai retightens on COVID, frustrating trapped residents. I'm Grid7. See me on YouTube, Rumble, like, subscribe, and we'll get into the article right here. The city of Shanghai is doubling down on pandemic restrictions after a brief period of loosening up, frustrating residents who were hoping a more than month-long lockdown was finally easing as the number of new cases falls in China's financial center. On Tuesday, service was suspended on the last two subway lines that were still operating, making the first time the city's entire system has been shut down. According to the paper and online media outlet, teams in white protective suits have begun entering the homes of coronavirus-infected people to spray disinfectant, prompting worries among some about damage to clothes and valuables. Not to mention the environment. I've heard they've spread lime in the streets and stuff like that, and that's posing a huge risk to the environment. But you don't hear anything about that from our leftist environments over here in the United States. But continuing here, and just about leaving their keys with a community volunteer when they get taken to a quarantine. A new requirement so disinfectant workers can get in. And so they can get in when you're not there, so you're hoping that they're being honest with your stuff. In some areas, people have been ordered to stay in their homes again for a, quote, quiet period after being let out for limited shopping in recent weeks. China's adherence to a zero COVID strategy, as many other countries loosen restrictions and try to live with the virus, is exacting a growing economic and human cost. Ever more extreme measures have been required to bring outbreaks under control because the Omicron variant spreads so easily, along with BA.2 and all these others, and now there's BA.4 and .5, and it's continuing on and on and on. Each one of these, they say, is more infectious than the last, and the zero policy, just the more you hear about it, the less it makes any sense. But China's ruling Communist Party, with an eye on the majority party Congress this fall, is showing no signs of backing off anytime soon. Fexin district, hopefully I pronounced that right, I'm terrible with that, a suburban area in southern Shanghai, entered a quiet period on Monday, with permits for residents to leave their compound suspended, and shops and supermarkets closed except for delivery, the Shanghai media reported. Workers at one supermarket filled bags with celery, cooking oil, and other groceries in a designated area, where delivery persons picked them up. Zilu Yu, the manager, said the store is also trying to restock goods in high demand. When offline sales are resumed, customers will be able to buy what they need immediately, he said. Escape from Shanghai is all but impossible. But that doesn't stop unofficial how-to guides, detailing how to navigate lockdown controls and nab a seat on the few trains and planes leaving the city, from circulating widely on media. Many in the city of 25 million people shared their frustrations over renewed restrictions in chat groups. This is something I've actually seen online. There is a growing, and people are wondering what's going on over there. Now people are getting more and more frustrated, more and more just angry, and they're saying that the CCP, China's ruling Communist Party, has reached a point where they can't back off anymore. They're so committed to this that they can't back off. And I've seen some people say, no, what's going to end up happening here is China's headed for civil war. It's just a matter of how this occurs. But let's just continue here. The daily number of new cases in Shanghai had fallen to about 3,000 by Monday, down from a peak of 26,000 in mid-April. 6 more COVID-related deaths were reported, raising the toll from the outbreak to 553. Meanwhile, Beijing began another round of 3 days of mass testing for millions of its residents Tuesday in a bid to prevent an outbreak in the nation's capital from growing to Shanghai proportions. The city, which recorded 74 new cases on Monday, has locked down individual buildings and residential compounds, shut about 60 subway stations, and banned dining at restaurants, allowing only takeout and delivery. The outbreak has not exploded, but it has not stopped spreading. Beijing spokesperson Zhu Hejing described the situation Tuesday as a stalemate and said the city needs to continue its strict measures. And I have yet to see anywhere where these such strict measures are working. I just don't see it. It's not anywhere. Everywhere that they're actually doing this, it ends up, they might have prevented a few cases, but the long-term effect has actually ended up being worse. Part of me thinks, everything that we're going through here in the States, the inflation, the stock market, all this type of stuff is a direct result of us shutting down in 2020. But anyways, while traffic is sparse in Beijing, it's almost non-existent in Shanghai, where the lockdown has been going on longer and city-wide. AP video shot Monday showed a silent and deserted city, with only a very occasional vehicle and a few delivery drivers on scooters moving down empty roads. Most people are confined to their apartments or residential complexes, though there have been some easing in outlying suburban areas without new cases in their community, but notices issued in several Shanghai districts in recent days ordered residents to stay home and barred them from receiving non-essential deliveries as part of a quiet period lasting until Wednesday or longer. Again, they have a pressure situation that they think that they're going to control. As long as they've got the military, it's going to, but I've seen some things and comments, they're starting to lose the military and the police and those people. That can be very bad for the CCP. The measures could be extended depending on the results of mass testing, the notices said. The sudden retightening took residents by surprise. Shanghai official Jin Qin appeared to acknowledge Tuesday the complaints about the disinfecting of people's homes, thanking them for the cooperation and saying the government would analyze and fix any problems. He said that residents can inform the teams about any items that need protection. Carrying out household disinfection is an important part of the overall epidemic prevention and control. Actually, it's not. That's been debunked. It's an aerial virus. It is not a surface virus. That's not doing anything. But anyways, a constitutional law professor, Tong Zhuihai, posted an article recently calling for Shanghai to end what he called excessive pandemic prevention measures, such as quarantining residents and forcing them to surrender their house keys, saying the requirement contravenes the rule of law. The article, surprise, surprise, has been removed from the internet as the government censors criticism of its response. Thousands of people have been forced into quarantine centers after testing positive or having been in contact with an infected person. Standard procedure in China's zero COVID approach, and this approach is not going to work. It just doesn't work. It's time for them to end it. Now, if they don't want civil war, it's time for them to end this. Well, let me know what you think. Good, bad? Are they headed to civil war? Are they just making people more and more frustrated? Are they doing this on purpose? Is there a conspiracy? I don't know. Let me know what you think. Like, subscribe, tickle the bell, come on over to Rumble, subscribe to me over there too, and I'll see you next video.